Okay, this is going to be loop 2 of my test. My test loop. It did pretty awful when I just went around before. So let's see if this one is any different with whatever the external input is this time. Because I was pretty annoyed with it the last time. Okay, so all right, that was decent, waiting for that pedestrian. Yeah, the last loop that I just did, so we should be over here, thinking about it. I had to push it a lot, doing things that it shouldn't have trouble doing. That was good. You know, it was just, it didn't want to go a lot of times, you know. All right, let's see if we stay to the right this time. Yes, okay, good. My first test loop, I had to disengage there because it was not in the right. It was going to go into the left lane. Yeah, my first loop, it didn't want to go. I was having to push it. It was making the wrong decisions around pedestrians. If somebody was just walking on the sidewalk near me, my car would stop. Had stopped a couple times thinking that the pedestrian was gonna cross the street when it wasn't. So I think Elon tweeted something about a bug that they had found with pedestrians and they fixed. So maybe it's a little too cautious right now. We'll see how we do up here when we get to where the people are on Thames Street. It also didn't do a very good job creeping. It crept out pretty slow, but there was a car coming and it didn't stop. It was slow enough to where the car was letting me out, but it should not have done that. Anyway, I started to tell a story in my first video, and I ended it before I told the story. So the story is that the colonial homes in Newport are part of why people come and visit, because Newport has the highest percentage of colonial homes still standing in the United States. And part of the reason why that is the case, or the reason I guess that is the case, is that Newport was a very important port before the Revolutionary War. It was like one of the ports that was kind of instrumental in the whole slave trade in the United States, actually. And so during the Revolutionary War, the British blockaded Newport Harbor, and that caused the economy to collapse. And it took, see, now it's waiting for these pedestrians. Shouldn't be doing that there. So I pushed it. I mean, they were just standing on the sidewalk talking. They weren't going to cross the street. So anyways, because the economy collapsed, it meant that you know, like houses that maybe would have been torn down and built new, because of, you know, people making a lot of money and wanting to, you know, upgrade their houses, I guess, they didn't do that. No, should not go. Oh, it's moving over for that jogger. Interesting. Don't, no. Oh, is not supposed to go in that lane. It wants to go over there though. Why? Like, it wants to go around those cars. I see the path. It's no. Wow, this is super annoying. Just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I start going forward to re-engage. Wow. What is that? Is that a map thing? Is it just poor lane selection going on here? What is it doing? Oh my gosh, I'm so annoyed. So annoyed. I'm pushing it because it's waiting and I had a green light, you know? It's like, come on, keep going with the traffic. Going down the wrong side of the road here. It did that on the first loop. When it made that turn, it was wanting to go down where the parallel parked cars are, which is obviously not where it's supposed to drive. So anyway, it took the economy in Newport a long time to recover. So you'll notice that the houses here jump from colonial pretty much to Victorian. So, you know, that's I pushed it because it waits too long to go. It waits until the person is completely out of the road. Somebody honked their horn at me because I wasn't going. So anyway, so like my house is a Victorian. It was built in 1870. There were a lot of houses built in that period, but they're smaller. They're more for laborers. My house was built for labor. But the colonials just stood, and because of that, we have, so again, waiting too long. Let's go here. Let's see which way it takes me. It's been taking me, oh, I don't want it to go up Young. Nope. Stop. I'm going to disengage because I want it to go up Pope. Oh my God. So it slammed on the brakes there because there were people on the sidewalk not going to cross the street, and it thought that they were, so it slammed on the brakes. Okay. Wow. Just, I mean, it did it. It was ugly, but it did it. So, way too cautious around the pedestrians. Again, it should not be driving on the left side of the road. Like, it doesn't need to get so close to these cars. It can stay over. It doesn't need to be skimming along these cars that are parked. So again, Elon said something about a bug with pedestrians, and I think that it's a little too overcautious with the pedestrians. Okay, well, that was decent. There was a car coming, but not like I would have gone as a human driver. So it did well there, not hesitating once it committed to the turn, because had it hesitated, it would have, you know, the oncoming car would have closed the gap, and then it would have, you know, required an intervention. So that was actually really good with the timing, with deciding to go and committing to it. So this, I wouldn't do this as a human driver here. I'm not gonna let my car do it. I mean, it is choosing the correct lane further back, which is good, but I just wouldn't have done that there. It was unnecessary. And because that's a fire department emergency vehicle. I just wanted to give it space. So yeah, this is my second loop. I'm not impressed, and I feel like a lot of it is its decision making around the pedestrians, and it's causing it to, you know, kind of freak out a little bit. I've mentioned in my videos in the past how, you know, it's going to be an interesting problem to solve, how the AI is you know, going to decide on intent, a human's intent. Are they intending to cross the street, or are they just standing there, or are they just walking straight and not going to come out and try to cross? Because right now it's not reacting very well to it. This is the intersection that it has been just creeping out into the middle. Okay, it sees the open door. It's going slowly around it. Oh, it closed when it closed too. Okay, so let's see how we do here. Again, I'm pushing it because I have a line of cars behind me. It was again out in the middle of the intersection there, so I mean, there is a picket fence there on the corner, but I don't really see why it's having trouble at that intersection now, because it didn't used to have that much trouble. This house, they've completely gutted this house. All that's standing are the outside walls. It's just a facade now. Wow. It was in disrepair. As long as I've lived here, it's just been rotting. It was actually I believe that house was the subject of some controversy. Yeah, this is way too slow. Way too slow. I'm not pushing it here because there's nobody behind me now, but that was taking way too long. Yeah, that house was, I think that house was the subject of some controversy because the owners were just letting it rot. And I think maybe it went to court. I don't remember. But it was, if it wasn't that house, it was another one. It was like quite the controversy because, you know, people are saying that you know, the city shouldn't be allowed to tell owners what they can and can't do with their homes. And, you know, one side was saying that, and, you know, freedom and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And the other side was saying, you know, it's historical, it's important, you have a responsibility, it's hurting property values, the people around you. So I was on the latter half, like you shouldn't be allowed to let your house rot. Okay, making the mistake here, not being able to pick the right way. Now, again, freaking out. I think because those people standing on the sidewalk, I disengaged because there was a car behind me, and because it was being stupid. Okay, now we're just like kind of rolling out into the middle here. Not correct, but at least it did it. I didn't have to push it. Let's see how we do going around this time. It has not wanted to go. Ooh, nope, doesn't want to do it. All right, guys, that was 2 chances on 69.2, and for me anyway, it has taken a step way back because of, I believe, because of the pedestrians.